Hello everyone! Welcome to my The Way Home official channel. I hope everyone is having a great day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It's been said before, but it bears repeating. The pond desires its own desires. In The Way Home Season 2 Episode 2, the pond objected to Alice traveling with Cat. It's risky where Cat travels. Perhaps the pond knows better than to send a child somewhere they won't know how to avoid harm. Episode 2 of Season 2 of The Way Home. The pond has its ways. That makes less sense now that we know for sure that Jacob was lost in the pond. However, there is a barrier preventing Cat and Alice from traveling together, and the pond itself offers the best possible reason. Who knows what would have occurred if Alice and Cat had traveled back in time to 1814? Cat barely made it through, and Alice's destiny would probably be similar if that's where Jacob got lost. Episode 2 of Season 2 of Traveling Through Time, The Way Home. In 1814, Cat Landry made many discoveries. She gained a friend in Susanna, who ultimately saved her life, and potentially an enemy in Thomas, who was more interested in seeing her imprisoned than freed. However, Cat managed to inquire about Jacob, and Susanna's response was reassuring. He is a really content young child. How did you come to know Jacob Landry, Susanna? You also called out to him. Cat. Are you familiar with Jacob Landry? Susanna. Indeed I do. Cat. Small boy with blue eyes and brown hair. Is he roughly this tall? Susanna gives a nod. Where? What is his location? Susanna. With his family on the Landry farm. I have a few thoughts that indicate it might not be as simple as that, but I'm not ready to share them just yet. I'm interested in what you think. Could Cat actually swim to the precise spot where Jacob is currently having the time of his life as a 1914 kid? Episode 2 of Season 2 of Watson Rose on the Way Home. Alice was traveling once more, but this time it was back to 2000, when she met Elliot, who was devastated about losing everything. He believes that Alice is the cause of everything. He's alone now that Jacob, Cat, and Colton have all left. Their visit goes above and beyond to clarify Elliot's current state of mind and the reasons behind his strong opposition to time travel. It also helps to explain why he was so shocked to learn that Colton had vanished due to time travel, Cat, and Alice. Elliot seeks clarification. The Journey Home, Season 2, Episode 2. He had already felt abandoned in 2000, so when he reconnected with Cat in 2023, he was prepared to move on and maybe take the risk he had not taken previously by expressing her how he truly felt. Elliot, hello. I apologize for informing you about your future plans. It was never my intention to spoil it all for you. However, everything collapsed. It must be related in part to his conviction that understanding his destiny altered the trajectory of his life irrevocably. It's not like I blame him. Elliot allowed it to permanently mark his path, even though some might view it as a dare to deviate from his predestined future. See Cat and her own time-traveling exploits. However, Elliot continues to navigate unfamiliar seas. Despite his anger against Cat for misrepresenting her travels, which she wasn't, he kept Alice's visit from her a secret. Elliot, Cat said, you mentioned that Alice never returned, so what? You misled me. Elliot, I told the truth. I simply decided not to reveal the whole story. Cat, oh, please hurry up. Elliot, you also told me a lie. You made a time journey. You disclosed our relationship to Alice, even though you both claimed not to have done so. Cat, when I told you that, I wasn't lying about any of those things. They occurred right after I informed you. Dreading to lose her mother, The Way Home Ep. 2. Was that his way of keeping them anchored come 2024? That, and his wish to avoid losing any more, since he had already held them accountable for everything. Is that the final deception he intends to conceal? What is preventing Alice from traveling back in time? And if she did, what's stopping Elliot from telling what he knows? You would think that after learning about the likelihood that Jacob will become a victim and the Landry family's loss of him in the pond, he would be able to comprehend why they can't just give it up. Though Elliot is a scientist at heart, he has never given thought to the possibility that Jacob vanished over the pond. I apologize, but that is absurd. Episode 2 of Season 2 of Through the Looking Glass, The Way Home. Throughout his whole life, Elliot Augustine has been near the pond. But has he ever stopped to think that if a youngster disappears, especially one who enjoys playing in the woods, it might be because he went for a swim and never came back? He is a teacher, of course. His lack of scientific investigation skills is worrisome because he is the only one with this depth of knowledge about time travel. Every action he takes seems deliberate, based on his early experiences. That broke his heart and kept him from experiencing much happiness. It's also most likely the reason he decided to go on an international trip. He had never heard of himself doing it. But it was one thing. When Kat returns and they talk about it, he still can't help but blame her for Colton's death despite everything he knows about Jacob. Kat, to save our family, I took that action. It's me that lost Jacob. Yes, I am the one, and ever since then, I have had to deal with that guilt every day. Still, I can locate him. I could truly be able to bring him home. When has it ever worked, Elliot? Observe how it affected both you and myself. Kat, how about you? You dare not make this right. You said that knowing your future damaged your life, which made our breakup my daughter's and mine responsible. Elliot, you gave the impression that the journey was finished, but you are aware that it wasn't. You spoke with Alice, you saw her, and she did return, so you know what I believe. I believe all you wanted was for me to adore you. You expected me to give you my whole attention, and when I couldn't, you left. The Way Home Season 2, Episode 2. What does it want? Kat can't tell Elliot that she met a member of his family in 1814, just as it must be killing her not to tell Dell. As one reader noted, Dell better know about the pond since otherwise, not wanting to know about Jacob's abduction seems ridiculous. As the season goes on, it has to change, right? Kat is affected in the opposite way by his efforts to get her to give up time travel and his own consequences. She accepts his responsibility for all of his problems as a daring to make things right. She has already made an attempt to change the past, only to become more deeply entangled in its happenings. Is it feasible, though, that a subsequent look at a time when she was not closely associated with her own nuclear family could have a different outcome? It's difficult to picture oneself giving up time travel and appearing in an unpainted painting, just as it's unthinkable to quit searching for your brother, even if you know he might need you. Episode 2 of Season 2 of The Way Home. Playing it cool. However, none of this makes Alice's decision to skip Brady's summer visits more certain. What separates them is her conviction that they would lose the land if she leaves to assist Dell. Dell's plan to use the additional fields as a nonprofit with assistance from Port Haven was not successful, but she shouldn't be written out just yet. Even if she has to go it alone without the town's assistance, I can't help but wonder if Spencer's concept for a farm-to-table restaurant would be just what she needs. That kind of experience may be added by Port Haven to their already thriving tourism industry. Perhaps Dell will keep gnawing away at that prospect. Dell appearing worried. The Way Home Season 2 Ep. 2. Another factor that influences this is the dark beauty of a horse. Could the horse hold the secret to Dell rescuing the farm? The Way Home Season 2 is made even more exciting by the extensive time travel. The present is constantly changing, and it will be fascinating to watch how Kat manages to live in two different worlds without telling any of them to her family. Dell's finding at the founding of Port Haven's estate sale might also provide some insight into Kat's earlier actions. Little by little, the pieces of this puzzle are starting to fit together. Dell lounges in her field. Episode 2 of Season 2 of The Way Home. Do you believe Elliot will always be unreasonable, or does knowing more about him make things better? Is the farm in jeopardy, or can Dell find a means to sustain it in the long run? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.